welcome to the show. This is TED Talks Too Much. And we've got another great one for you today. I am Ted Moss, ex-juvenile delinquent, stand-up comedian, and your host. We are located in the OK Boomer Studios, just outside of Flint, Michigan. That's right, Flint, Michigan's water wonderland, where they are still wondering when they'll get some clean water. But while we all wait for that to happen, let's talk. And on today's show, we got Mr. Nick Pizzuti, a good-looking, local, likable stand-up comedian. He's going to talk to us a little bit about living in the danger zone, what he thinks about COVID-19, grocery shopping, fads, and collectibles. We'll be back with all that right after this. Welcome to Season 2 of TED Talks Too Much, where things are bound to get funnier and funnier. We got a great lineup of guests this season. Can't wait to get those episodes up so you can enjoy my funny friends. But before that happens, I want to give a thanks to everybody that subscribed, listened, shared. Matter of fact, we're going to do a giveaway. We're going to give away a official TED Talks Too Much mug. That's right, a mug with my mug on it. The official mug that we give to the guests when they're in studio. All you got to do is be the second person, not the first, but the second person to email me at tedtalkstoomuch@yahoo.com and tell me who I was interviewing when these words were said. I like chocolate. And who was the first one to say that? Answer those two questions. Be the second one to do it at tedtalkstoomuch@yahoo.com, and I will send you a mug. You have to be in the continental United States because I'm not smart enough to know how to get it out there to Taiwan. So give it a go. Send me an email, and I'll send you a mug. And in the meantime, let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Season 2. All right, everybody, here we go. Today we got a good-looking young man who actually does stand-up comedy. That's a strange combination. But he did ride the short bus to school all through high school. Was that a scam? I don't know. But he does tend to giggle a lot. So maybe it's legit. But in any case, give a OK Boomer Studio welcome to my good friend, Mr. Nick Pizzuti. Hey, Nick. Thanks for coming in, man.
Good to be here.
It was nice to see you.
Absolutely.
Actually, it's nice to see anyone.
Isn't that amazing?
I know. How long has this been going on? What has it been, like 40 days or something?
I lost count. I'll be honest with you. I'm one of those people that just lose count in the days. I can't even keep days in my mind straight.
What day of the week it is?
In general.
Is it Tuesday? Is it Thursday?
I just kind of just show up to work every day.
Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, I haven't had a haircut in so long. I don't know what to do about it. I'm turning into a shaggy dog or something, I think.
Oh, dude, that's the worst. Yeah. I got such a mullet right now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, don't you have a girlfriend who can cut your hair, though?
No, I don't have a girlfriend.
What? Hold it.
She gone.
What?
She gone.
Update, newsflash, new woman available. It's out on the market now. Yeah. What happened to your girl, man?
And I was explaining it to my mom,
Mom wanted justification like, how'd you screw up, son? You fucked up, didn't you?
Yep. No, and I basically broke it down to this, that I only have like a shelf life in a relationship of about a year. Because you know how this is. Like to women, we're fun and exciting and different.
Yes, new is good.
Yeah, and that's like really exciting. We got a sense of humor. He talks.
Yeah,
like that's something different. And then after a while, it's just like different isn't necessarily
Good.
Good.
And all of a sudden, like, yeah, I already seen this act.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got anything else? You don't have anything else? I'm out. What? Well, hold it now. Did she break it off or did you break it off?
She broke it off.
Yeah. You know, I think it usually is women that break it off.
Yeah, no doubt. I've been dumped so many times. And once again, like I said, that shelf life of a year. Yeah. I'm like the notorious rebound guy.
Yeah.
Off a bad relationship, women,
Right
love
to
me.
you. Well, you're a good-looking guy. You know what? If I was a girl, I'd like you. Matter of fact, I'm a guy. I kind of like you.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah, stay your distance. Social distancing here. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that.
Hey, man, I'm handling it well. It doesn't. It's just more time to focus on me.
Yeah, that's what you need is more time.
The dog's completely off the chain now.
Exactly. Yeah, but you're penned up. Yeah, how are you doing living at home alone by yourself?
You know, I'm pretty strong mentally, so it's not really messing with me too much.
Yeah.
You know, you and I had the conversation of living in the danger zone and
right.
I guess living kind of in fear, so I just adapted to that part of it.
Right. Well, hold on. Let's explain that. What we're talking about with the living in the danger zone.
No, like living in the danger zone is like, I guess between you and I, we basically broke it down. If you have an ailment, so if you had heart surgery or something to that effect, I have epilepsy. So, I mean, there's a chance of me having a seizure and having a stroke every single day of my life.
Yeah. So there's always danger present in your life. There's always something negative that could happen.
Right.
If you let it get it to you, it'd be getting to you every single day.
Yeah,
right.
And you just adapt. If you live with that, you just adapt accordingly.
Right.
And that's just something I'm used to.
Right.
Those stats, those fear stats, if you will.
Right.
So
right. So, but you got to think that it's new for other people. You know, there's a lot of people that have been pretty comfortable and never really felt endangered by anything. And now this is endangering everybody, according to the media at least.
Right.
You know, everybody can get it and everybody could die from it is kind of the way it's out there, I think.
Right. And I do respect that. I mean, it's one of those things that I mean, it's just tough, you know. Like being out in public and stuff like that. I understand, but in the same right, it's just how far. And everybody keeps talking about, oh, this is okay. We should have more setbacks, or this is okay. They're trying to protect us. When does it get to the point where it's too much? Because for everybody,
right.
it has to. Even the people that are pro, like, hey, no, stay at home. Yes, all right, I'm with you this far. But when do we turn that corner and go, okay, this is too far?
Enough's enough. Well, yeah, at some point we got to go back out in public. We can't spend the rest of our lives isolated in our houses, I don't think.
No, and risk versus reward at that rate, you know what I mean? Like if I'm just living in a nutshell the rest of my life and not enjoying anything.
Yeah, you're going to have sex a lot alone is what's going to happen there, and that's not good for anybody.
No.
That's unhealthy after a while.
I mean, not being able to travel anywhere or do anything like that.
Actually, my daughter flew to Texas today.
Oh, no shit.
$20 to fly to Texas from Detroit.
Wow.
$40 to fly back because she had to go to a different airport. Round trip $60.
Holy cannoli.
She had to pick up a puppy. She went to get a dog, and you know, kids, the dog she wanted was in Texas. And I'm like, okay, well, the dog's gonna be a little stressed out when you ship him up. She goes, oh no, I'm going down to get him. I'm going, how much money you spending on this freaking dog? She's going, no, Dad, we got really good deal on flights. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe you got round trip for $200 or something like that. She's going, no, it's like $20 to fly to Texas. Like, what the hell? That doesn't even pay for the gas. Well, what is that? What is that? The tip for the girl bringing out the nuts? I don't know. I guess they don't have nuts anymore. Yeah, I don't even know what that pays for. $20.
I couldn't imagine your overhead on
it's
that.
It's just a gesture. It's just pretending you paid. I don't know.
We're making some money.
Yeah, no, they're making no money. They're losing so free. I don't know what the airlines are going to do going forward.
I think for anything going forward, it's going to be tough because I think social distancing is going to throw a cramp into everything because you still need the square footage.
Yeah, I know. I think we all, you know what? At some point, we all got to get sick. let's just get sick, get over with it, and it's going to thin the herd. I will probably be gone because I'm old and unhealthy. But, the rest of you, well, at least we'll be able to get back together because this is crazy. You can't go for eternity and not interact. You got to mate. You got to have babies. You got to get close to do that.
Just, like not being able to enjoy a concert or something like that. And I'm not like huge into that
football
stuff.
Games, baseball games, basketball games, all sporting. Yeah, everything we do, whether it's going to the theater, comedy shows, bars, eventually we got to get back out in public. So it's, the senator for the state of Michigan did an online presentation about it, and afterwards you could ask a question, and if he didn't get to your question, you could leave him a message, and he would get back with you. And so I left the question, and I said, look, I don't understand how this is going to end other than either you get it and survive, get it and don't survive, or you come up with a vaccination and you vaccinate 350 million people. Now, they're not going to come up with a vaccination to vaccinate 350 million people without months of testing because all those vaccinations act different on different people. So you're talking months and months. I left this message a month ago, and he got back to me. No, he didn't. He didn't get back to me. That's what he did. He did not get back to me. So I don't know how you get around having it and getting over it or getting through it, or somehow you have to become immune to it because we all got to go back out in public somehow, some way.
Sometime.
Yeah.
I think the time limit is, and you can see people losing their mind already, and they're easily driven to that now. They're so easily influenced.
You think they're losing their mind?
Yeah, dude. Well, absolutely they are.
Yeah.
And for sure they are, because you see people and everything that, like we were talking earlier before this started, politically, people are absolutely losing their mind.
People are getting pissed.
Yeah, but and you see these conversations and people getting mad at each other, not being friends anymore.
Well, the question is, are you going to adhere to the rules or not? Some are and some are not. Like the other day, I went to Walmart. Apparently, there's new rules at Walmart. All the aisles are one way. Who knew? If you look down,
there's arrows
on the floor at the beginning of every single aisle over in the grocery section are one-way stickers. Now, I don't want to say women are bad drivers, but I ran into 6 people going the wrong way on a one-way aisle, and they were all women. Turned out 4 of them were okay with me mentioning it. The other 2, not so much. I don't know. Was I wrong? Do you mention that? Is that like, hey, we're all lined up 6 feet apart going that way, and you're going the other way, lady? I don't know what to tell you.
I'm not saying it's because you're a woman, but...
No, I have no idea. One way aisle. I thought it was weird. I don't mind passing people. I think it's weird when people put their basket on one side and then they go shop on the other side and they totally block the aisle. Now, I don't care if it's one way or not. I have an issue with that. It's like, make up your mind.
I think the center, leaving your cart in the center, is just absolutely rude. My ex-wife used to do that all the time and just
block everybody.
Just abandon ship and just, I need Cheez-Its, and just wander off and leave it there. And meanwhile, there's traffic buildup all the way to the meat market now.
I really like the idea of shopping out of other people's carts. Like, if you leave it abandoned, I'm taking some shit. Whether I want it or not.
Just to mess with you.
I was in the grocery store. I saw this really cute girl in the grocery store, and I happened to be over by the candy, and I was looking at these Dove chocolate bars, and she kind of hesitated by me, and I'm like, you're cute, you're hesitating, we're talking. So I was saying, what's your favorite? And she told me what her favorite was. They were these little Dove bars I was looking at. I thought, oh yeah, I like those too. I said, you gonna get one? She said, no. And she went on, well, I got a few of them, because that's how I roll. And when I got to the checkout, she happened to be right in front of me. And they put that little plastic divider in between your groceries and the person in front of you. I took one of my Dove bars and put it on the other side of the divider, so it was on her side. So they rang it up for her, and she took it home. It was the gift that I didn't have to pay for. But I'm sure she got home and knew where that came from, don't you think?
I would imagine so.
That guy gave me a dope that I had to buy. Was that nice or am I insulted? Is that good? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how to take that one. But you ever hide somebody's grocery cart when they abandon it? Just take it to the next aisle over. I could have sworn I left it around here somewhere.
Oh, dude, you've spent too much time trying to pick up women in the grocery store, I think. They say that's a good place to meet women, the grocery store.
Oh, really?
That's what they say. I think you have to act dumb. Like
that's not hard for me.
Are these Brussels sprouts? I don't know. Should I buy these? What are these things? Or can you tell me where the something is? Ask for guidance or something. I need a helping hand. I'm a mere man. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Shopping. This is made for women, damn it. I'm gonna have to cook this shit too.
You know, when I was married, I actually did all the grocery shopping because I don't mind doing that. And I was spending so many hours at work, I never bought anything. It was kind of thrilling to be out buying things with my money because I never had an opportunity to do that because I was always working. And I like cooking. And my ex-wife was very good looking and didn't cook. And I thought that was a trade-off I could live with. So
I always see it as like, what chores are you willing to do? And cooking and shopping are the good ones to me.
I think so too. Folding laundry sucks.
Folding laundry sucks. Doing dishes sucks.
I know, I didn't do either one of those. But I did make Thanksgiving dinner for over 20 people for over 20 years in a row. Because I cooked. And I don't mind doing that. No. I don't mind making the mess. It's cleaning the mess up.
Absolutely. I'm with you 100%. And it's like I said, like those chores that you're willing to trade off. Like, yeah, cutting the lawn kind of sucks. But it's not really that bad of a chore. You know? I will take that over. And it's funny, like, I mean, you being married before, same as me, being divorced. It's funny, like, how needy, and I hate saying this, needy women are because they don't recognize the chores that men.
Well, I think it's on both sides, though, dude. I mean, I can't. When I first got divorced, no, these are two divorced guys talking about how good they are in marriages. So we're wrong. We're wrong. We don't know what we're saying. But in any case, I remember when I first got divorced, first time, walking past socks that were laying on the living room floor day after day. And finally, about a week and a half into it, I went, you know, those socks are never going to move unless I move them.
Yep.
This is new. Those socks used to always move.
Because the way I work everything is when I run out of laundry, that's when I do laundry. When I run out of dishes, that's when I do dishes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, how much laundry do you have? How many pair of undershorts do you own?
2 weeks worth.
Was that 3 pair or is that 14 pair?
That's 14. That's a change every day.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you flip them inside out. 7 will do.
I specifically leave the last pair of whitey tighties for the last because I know as soon as I put them on and how uncomfortable they are, I have to do laundry.
Right. I quit buying the whites because they're so disgusting after a while. I went with black because then you don't know how disgusting they are. Like, these are stained, but I don't know it. It's a lot better.
Out of mind, out of...
Yeah. You know what I think's coming back in is white socks.
White socks, eh?
Yeah, I think white socks are going to be a fad because women are going with high-waisted jeans now.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, I do, but they're like mom jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a cute look.
What?
Yeah. Well, it depends on who's wearing them, too. So, maybe I've watched far too much TikTok. I'm not really sure.
Oh, God.
No, but high-waisted jeans are coming in. And I actually saw an interview the other day with, the comic Norm. What's Norm's last name? Used to be on Saturday Night Live.
McDonald.
Norm McDonald. And he was being interviewed, and he's so smart.
Oh, God, he's awesome.
Yeah, he is awesome. And he was wearing white socks, and the white socks kind of matched his white shirt or something. I thought, dude, I would love to wear white socks. I would wear only white socks if I could. I might start that as a fad.
I would wear a wife beater out in public if it was socially acceptable. They're so comfortable to me. Like, really, honest to goodness. And do they still call them wife beaters? Is that?
I don't know. I know what you mean. It's like a tight tank top T-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know if they call them wife beaters. I don't think that's politically correct. But whatever they're called. But
I think it can describe the shirt as long as it doesn't describe you. If you're the wife beater, that's politically incorrect for you to be the wife beater.
Right. No, that's not.
Yeah. Have you ever started a fad like that or anything?
No. But I think everybody recognizes that I'm kind of against the grain thing. Like when everything was cool, I was always like, if it was too cool, I couldn't do it. It was just that.
Yeah.
I don't know. And not a lot of my trends ever
caught
on at all. Actually, you know what? And this is in the early 2000s.
I'm really trying to set this trend. Come on, you guys! Everybody wearing beanies with balls on the top. Let's go! It's really cool.
I believe that I did start the man bun though.
You started the man bun?
Yeah. There's actually a picture of me back in the early 2000s, and I got long hair and I got my hair tied up.
Really?
Unbeknownst to me.
Really?
A couple years later, it took fire.
Could have been you.
Could have been me.
Now, I passed on a couple trends. This is going to be so outdated, you probably aren't going to know what I'm talking about. But back in the late 60s, Motown was really big. And the fashions that these guys wore when they danced were like sans belt pants pulled up high. And it was a different look. But with that,
show off that butt.
But with that, they used to wear like Italian shoes and socks that came up over the calf that were called thick and thins. Do you know what thick and thins are?
I have no idea.
Okay. Thick and thins are silk socks that pull up over the calves, and they're see-through. They're like nylons for men, but they have stripes on them that go down them vertically that are like darker. They'll be like a sheer black with black stripes on it. So there's a thick part and a thin part to the socks. When I was in high school, I used to run with a lot of kids that were out of the city because that's where I grew up when I was younger. So a lot of my friends in the summertime when I wasn't in school were city kids, and then they were country kids when I was during the school year. So I went back to school wearing sans belt pants, bandline shirts, which are like knit shirt. They're like golf shirts, if you will, with the tucked in pants pulled up really high and your ankle showing in these nylon see your ankle socks and these Italian shoes that I used to buy down in the Black District of Flint at these really European shoe stores. And so I came back to my country bumpkin school dressed like that, and everybody laughed at me. But by the time the prom came around,
anybody was
wearing thick and thins.
No, that makes.
But I didn't come up with it. I just kind of passed it on because I was exposed to it.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Being exposed to things like it's unreal. Like how many things you become exposed to interacting with different walks of life.
Right.
One of the things that I never knew people collected shoes. I didn't know that was a thing for the longest time. Like
you mean like women?
No, like the Jordans. Like,
you
know what I mean? Like they have a shoe collection and they have elaborate. A lot of people I work with have an elaborate collection of shoes, and they don't even wear them.
Are they?
They're for like collector item purposes.
Are they going to like sell them eventually and get their money? Are they going to cash them out once they work?
See, I don't know how that works. But the first question I had was, well, if you're not going to wear them, are you just buying the size 6s on clearance?
That's a good idea.
You know what I mean? Because if you're not going to wear them and they're just like this sentimental thing that you put on your...
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I've bought things for stupid amount of money, like baseball cards and stuff like that, and paid ridiculous amounts of money for them to collect them. And I keep them, on my nightstand or wherever I decide to have this decor. Right. But like with the Jordans, that's just like part of your decor.
Right. I don't know how that works. I don't know how you make money off it. My stepdaughter just got married, and she married into a family where the father is very well-to-do, and he's probably, he might be the, I don't know, I can't help but think that he isn't probably the biggest coin trader in the country. He had one coin that he sold for over $9 million, a silver dollar that was really, really old.
It's bananas.
It is, but he's very, very good at it, and he's been doing it forever, and he's got to be, I don't know, pushing 60, but he started in New York City. I was talking to him about it, and he worked at a coin shop, and he found that he could take something at his coin shop, buy it, and go to another coin shop in New York City and sell it and make a little margin on it, make a little profit on it. And so he learned more and more about coins, and he'd go around and he'd pick a couple up at this shop and take them to that shop, and just trading between the shops, he made a living. He made a business out of this thing where he made millions of dollars. Now he lives like, he's got a home in Malibu. He's got a summer home in Napa with 2 houses and vineyards, and he's
Doing well.
Very, very, very well. But I wonder if you can do that now with the internet. That, you know, in New York City, all these coin collectors, all these coin shops are going to know what everybody else has.
Yeah.
And they're all going to know what the prices are.
Well, like the value, I don't know about coins, but the value in baseball cards have dropped significantly because the ability to reproduce them now, you can't tell the difference between the copycat cards and the original anymore because you're able to manufacture that now. They used to be able to tell through the texture.
Did you have a brand of cards that you like Tops or something?
No, it was more the individual player or something like that I was trying to get. Like my best possession is the John Elway rookie autograph card. So like that's something to me.
And he doesn't even play baseball.
He did, but didn't.
Is he on a baseball card?
No, actually,
John Elway's a football player, right?
No, yeah, John Elway is a football player, but he was drafted by the Yankees as a pitcher.
You're kidding me.
No, so actually,
that's why the card is rare.
Yeah. So.
Wow, I want the Michael Jordan golf card.
Yeah, he wasn't so good at that.
Yeah. What year were you collecting cards?
I collected, like, that's what we did. For our, I don't know, our teenage years, that was one of the stops that we made. I much like you, I'm assuming, we did the walk around the neighborhood, and one of the places we hit the card store, the pizza place, and the movie theater.
Oh, there you go. There you go. But what year was this?
This was probably, I'm going to say late 80s to mid 90s.
Yeah, card collecting was really big in the mid to late 80s. I remember that.
Yeah.
Actually, a buddy of mine's father owned a jewelry store. And so they're kind of wheeling and dealing, and they're buying diamonds and gold and doing that kind of stuff. And the Miami Vice, I think, had been around, so everybody was wearing a lot of jewelry and stuff. But in any case, they started doing baseball cards, but they were buying cases, unsealed, of baseball cards and flipping them.
Huh.
They wouldn't even open up the case. I mean, it would be just a big white box that was marked that it was Topps cards.
I bought many of them.
I mean, a big thing, and they were like,
just flip it.
Yeah, to sell it to somebody else. We bought these cases, now you can buy. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And you're buying little pictures.
Yeah, and it was too funny. So when we were kids, I was kind of a hoodlum, and I guess still am.
There's a surprise.
One of the things that we used to do, Topps cards. I don't know if you're familiar with Topps. They always had a gold card in them.
Oh, okay.
So the one and the name plate was in gold.
Oh,
and it was called Topps Gold. So in each
bubblegum packet, they had one of those?
They had one of those.
Really?
So the hustle that we used to run, because we couldn't go to the card store and do this because they knew better, so we'd go to Target. We'd take the gold card. We'd bring a card with us, not gold card. Take out the gold card, put it in our packet as we're going through them, walking out the door, go up to the counter and say, hey, they gave us 10 cards, but there's not a gold one in here. They would give us another pack.
Oh, no.
So every day we'd get
now you're doubling your gold. You were a little hoodlum. That's terrible.
That is terrible. But I didn't see it as harming anybody, really.
Of course you didn't. Yeah, I used to go out and steal things, ballpoint pens. Didn't think I was harming anybody. But, eventually I didn't know what to do with the stuff I stole. I had all this shit. I stole rings and stuff. I mean, when I was in elementary school, after school, we would go stealing.
That was an event.
Yeah, it was like, are you busy? Let's go steal some shit. Okay. And we would go into drugstores just to steal stuff. And you divide up, everybody go their own way, and you kind of find a target. What can I have access to that I think I can get out of here? And so then you'd figure out something. Your buddy would be figuring out something else. And the lady working there, she only can watch one of you. And so the hard hustle was getting the ring, though, because the ring was in the glass. And they had to bring the ring holder up. And now if the ring holder's full, you can't get away with anything because it's got to be full when you leave. But if there's a whole bunch of empty spaces and you take these out, put those in, take out, and it goes, you can actually kind of confuse people to the point where one ring can go missing. So, yeah.
The magician's trick.
Yeah, well, yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened to that ring. Actually, I stole a ring with, I think it was a Trojan soldier on the ring. And I felt so guilty about that. I took it back up to the store to return it. And so I tried to get the person working to get the ring thing up, the holder up. And I was trying to do this back and forth so I could put another ring in there, but they're watching me too close. And they're grabbing every ring I set down and putting it back in. So I couldn't get mine back. So I had to keep the stolen ring because there's no way I could get it back in the bag. I couldn't unsteal the ring. I was not successful because I just felt guilty about it after a while. I thought, I'm just stealing stuff. That's not right.
Yeah, no. And I mean, I outgrow that.
Did you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I felt bad. I did feel bad after
That's good,
a while.
because I just lent you some money, and I'm glad that you have a guilty conscience if you don't do right by people. I think you do outgrow it, don't you?
Yeah, I sure hope so. I maybe other people don't.
Yeah.
But if you have the ability to mature yourself, then obviously you're going to learn from that because you realize that probably does have repercussions on other people. Thinking that stealing baseball cards wasn't hurting anybody. Meanwhile, some guy that's working in the manufacturing part just got laid off because the tops cards aren't. You know what I mean?
There's that trickle down stuff. Yeah, the last couple things are the profit. You pay for all the overhead with all the basic sales, and the last few things are where you get profit from, and the profit's what you reinvest. But yeah, now we probably should tell people that you're a stand-up comedian. I mean, we haven't even covered that. We took off, but we met doing stand-up. Do you remember where we met?
No.
Neither do I.
None.
I have no freaking clue how I even know you, dude.
But I've known you for so long now.
I hate to mention that.
I just feel compelled to stay friends with you.
Were we in a class? Were we in a comedy class?
We were
together?
in a comedy class together, but I don't know if that's where we met. I think we might have met a couple years before that.
Were we in the advanced class together?
Yeah, I think we were in the advanced class.
Were you in the one with Jordan? Heavyset guy, Jordan. Last name starts with a P. Can't remember. Oh, was Ron Rigby in our class?
No.
Anthony Slanda in our class?
Ron Rigby was, yes. Ron Rigby, Anthony Slanda.
That was the advanced class.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Richard Mathis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He sat in the back.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was 6 years ago. The nice thing about Detroit, as far as I'm concerned, if you're doing comedy, is it's a strong comedy community. There's a lot of people that do comedy, and the classes that they run down at Mark Ridley's are pretty darn good. Now, the beginner class with Bill Bouchard, who I hope to have on the show pretty quick, is just like public speaking 101.
A confidence builder.
He
really built your confidence up, and then Joel kind of broke you down a little bit.
Joel told you suck, and why are you doing this? No, but Joel actually gave us 2.5 hour lectures. 6 weeks in a row. That's a lot of information about being a professional comic. And they don't do that everywhere. I mean, I traveled across the country doing open mics and meeting people. They don't have anything like this.
Yeah.
So this is very unique to Detroit that we have this kind of training to do stand-up comedy.
And to have the ability to get in the door, you know what I mean? Like it's probably really confusing to people. How do you become into this comedy community, and to have that door there is absolutely amazing. I think it's so helpful because I don't know if you know this, but I actually started doing comedy about 15 years ago.
Really?
And I took the original Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle.
I would think you would be funnier by now.
I know, right? But I went into improv a lot, and went through the Second City training and all that when it was downtown Detroit.
How do you feel about that?
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I can't.
Were you pretty good at improv? How did you feel about your improv?
I guess I was okay at it. I was good at it because the physical abilities. You know me on stage. I'm a pretty physical guy. So so it brought that physical part to it, which definitely helps out in comedy because you see a lot of people with just their hands at their side, telling jokes. And I mean, to me, if you're doing a line of cocaine in your joke, you have to
look like you're doing a line of cocaine.
Yes.
Yeah.
People want to see that. You can get a laugh off of the physical comedy. I started a new joke that I get a really good laugh off where I kick the toilet. Like you don't get like without doing that physical act. Like you can't.
Right.
That's not a laugh to other people. If I just told the joke, like hands at side, it's not as funny.
Well, also being comfortable being on stage is important. And by doing that much improv, you've been on stage a lot before you move to stand-up. Because I think that's what a lot of people struggle with, just being up there in the first place. That's a big mountain for people to get over. Now, for me, I did a lot of public speaking in my business, and so it wasn't a big deal. I had that part. I was pretty comfortable with standing up front and talking. But from your improv, you were on stage, you were performing, got comfortable doing that. And then how did you transition from improv to stand-up?
Well, I took stand-up first, and then I went to improv, and then I went back to stand-up.
So why? Why would you go from stand-up to improv, and then, I mean, why back and forth?
The improv community was easier to get into because the internet was just kind of at its birth. At that time, there wasn't really a community on any social media or anything like that like there is now. But
for stand-up, you mean?
For stand-up, or even for improv. But the improv community was easier because there was 15, 30 people that you were constantly doing it with. And
the same group.
I was in 2 different troupes, and then I had my classes. So there were, I was doing quite a bit of work.
Right.
So like the community itself, I was just introduced to a mass quantities of people faster in doing improv, and it was easier to stay with as opposed to the comedy community, which you really had to like bang out at that time. Like, I mean, I remember seeing Bill Burchard like back at Joey's when that was still a thing. And like at that, I mean,
well, you performed at Joey's, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, like the people that I saw start off there, and like I said, it was harder to get into the community if you didn't have that follow through. And I was 20 years old, partying and doing, trying to get chase and tail and stuff like that. That was a higher priority to me.
Yeah, right.
So, but like the people that stayed with it, I remember seeing Dave Landau and Bill at Joey's, and that was eons ago before they became what they are now.
Right. Yeah. I was talking to Joel Fragmenti about improv, and he told me that a lot of the improv stuff is repetitive, that, they've done it so many times that the situation is they're like, okay, I get it. I'm the grandpa really in this situation, so I'm going to do the grandpa role. So they kind of revert to things that they've used in other roles, sometimes in their improv. Also, he said that most of those improv troupes, if you watch them, there's like 2 really good ones, and then a lot of people riding that wave. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's true?
My improv troupe that I was actually in was pretty stacked, actually.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of the people are still working in improv at Planet Ant. Mike Eshak was one of the big names that was in my troupe, and he's just phenomenal.
Is he? I don't know anything about improv.
I mean, he's a stand-up comedian now, too. If you get a chance, check him out for sure, dude. He is phenomenal.
What's his name?
Mike Eshak.
Eshak, okay.
But he stands out, and to this day when he comes back in town or whatever, like you can tell. You know what I mean? Like you can tell the people that stand out just in general. I mean, that's the same that goes with comedy. You think about how many open mics we've been at, and we've seen like shitty comic, and then there's like 2 or 3 that are good.
Yeah. Well, the shitty ones make you feel good about your act. Like, dude, I'm going to do so much better than this. But sometimes the shitty ones make you think, oh, this room is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, am I going to be able to get through? Or I'm not going to do that kind of joke because it doesn't work in this room. Some warnings, so that's good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, especially with you, like when you and I were on a show together, it was too funny because I could definitely tell which stuff.
Yeah, which one's going to fly. Ted's going to go there. Let's see if it works, because then I can go there too.
And like, dude, and like you said, like with improv, like just doing the repetitive stuff, like people, you see. Certain people like Sal D'Amelio is really good at like the crowd interaction just because he's seen the blonde lady with the bangs 52 times over, 1,000 times over. He you know what I mean? He's seen the older gentleman with
he's comfortable with it.
And to be able to like profile people and just have that quick interaction, that witty interaction to where like people that don't do comedy see that as, oh, he's so witty. How did he come up with it? But he's used that joke 52 other times on 52 other different people. He's just done it so much. He's just...
sometimes, if it's live and if it's real, it doesn't even have to be that funny, and it can be funny. Just a hesitation in what you say, just a pause can be really funny.
Yeah, absolutely. You see crowds lose their mind just by people asking, like you said, simple questions. Oh, you're still married?
Yeah.
And they, and they lose it, and they really do. But
I think that's good. I think there's a lot of, I would call them mid-level comedians in Southeast Detroit. There's a lot of guys that are pretty good, not great, but pretty darn good. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure you see that everywhere. I mean, we've got people that are just beginning and struggling, but there's a lot of guys that are pretty darn good. I mean, I would put our community up against most communities, Chicago, LA, New York. I really would.
I agree with that.
I think there's a lot of guys that can hold their own.
I've seen, and you as well, and I mean, a lot of us have seen people actually in the Detroit area that I think are significantly better. Some of the Netflix specials that you watch.
Yeah, but those things are so disingenuous, man. It's, they do 3 shows. They take the best out of the shows. They add in laughter. They're making entertainment to go on TV. And I think they kind of ruin stand-up. I think they kind of wreck it because that's what people expect.
Yeah.
And that's not what comedy's like. Comedy's like, we're going to laugh a lot, and then I'm going to talk a little bit, and then we're going to laugh a lot, and maybe laugh some more. But all crowds are different. All interactions are different. Some crowds are with you on one level. Some crowds are with you on another level. Sometimes they don't take the ride at all. But that's the nature of stand-up. And, if my 7 to 12 minutes doesn't do well, maybe the next guy will get you. I don't know. That's really what most comedy is like. It's not like Netflix.
No, and like you were talking about being able to read the room earlier. Like I think that's a huge thing because if you're in some bar in up north Michigan or something like that, playing into a bunch of flannels, you can do a bunch of drinking dick jokes or whatever.
Is that your best crowd? Is the good old boys out in the boondocks? Is that your best crowd? You think?
No, I do. My comedy is pretty. It goes over pretty well, even in
pretty universal.
Pretty universal, yeah.
You don't have a group of people that you think you do especially well with, and a group that you don't do as well with.
I think the good old boys I probably do better with, but it's in an overall universal. Jay Harris always tells me, man, like as long as you stay real, people will laugh at your stuff, and I believe that. That's a good. Because you were talking about memory earlier, to be able to remember your jokes, if they're a fabricated joke that you pulled out of nowhere, they're hard to remember. But if it's a joke that you experience and actually happened, it's easier to tell that story.
Yeah, but you know what? The problem I run into, and I've said this before, is my life is so weird. People don't believe that I'm telling the truth. Like, I really was on Black People Meet. Swear to God, I really honestly did meet a white girl on Black People Meet. Back when they had chat rooms, remember before when the internet was young and you had chat rooms, and so you'd go in there and just be a list of names, and everybody would talk at once, and there'd be 5 different conversations, your name, and every time you type something would come up next to your name. Swear to God. I'm gregarious. I want to talk. I think, well, this will be fun. We'll talk to all these people. So I sign up as Ted, and I go in, I'm like, hi, room. What's going on, room? How you guys doing? And nobody's talking to me, and I know who I want to talk to, but I can't get them to respond to me. They're having their conversation, and I try to jump in where I can, and I'm really not getting a lot of interaction, and I get frustrated. So I get off, and I go, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore because I don't know what they want. And I think, well, who do I want to talk to? And I know who I want to talk to. I want to talk to Sugar Britches 19, and I want to talk to Sweet Susie 42, and and I think it's all about the name. I'm going in as Ted. That's not who they want to meet. So I go back in. I sign up with a new name. Ramon de Love Buck.
Game changer.
I'm not kidding you. And I talk with an accent. Oh, this is Ramon de Love Buck. I am an exotic dancer. And so, okay, now I'm in the room. I got to figure out how to type with an accent because I'm going to be this French male stripper. But you know what? Everybody wants to talk to me. Every girl in the place is like, oh, Ramon, I'm so glad you're back. So now I'm having like 3 conversations at once. The guys are going, oh, this asshole, he can't even spell. And they're going, no, that's Ramon. He's French. He has an accent. And I'm like, oh, it is I. And the Asian ladies want to chat with Ramon. Oh. All right, I have a hard enough time spelling in the first place. Now I got to spell shat. How do I spell this? So honest to God, I was so overwhelmed. I was so popular. I had to stop. I was just too much. I couldn't keep up. I was like, Ramon, they love Buck. So at some point, I think it depends on how you present yourself.
As far as being what?
Popular.
Popular? Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, all they know is your name. Yeah, I think you're hot because you're Sugar Britches 42 or whatever. You think I'm hot because I'm Ramon de Love Buck. I'm really just a sorry old man. I guess I was catfishing, wasn't I?
Yeah, absolutely you were. But the exotic name, I think, helps. Absolutely, it does.
Maybe you need an exotic name for your stand-up.
Well, Pizzuti does pretty well.
Pizzuti?
Let's be honest. Most of my friends
actually sounds like a verb. Pizzuti. I want to Pizzuti you.
Most of my friends don't just refer to me as Pizzuti.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no Nick. Well, is it Nicholas?
Yeah, it's Nicholas, but I always
Nicholas Pizzuti.
I introduce myself as Nicholas, and then everybody goes, "What's up, Nick?" And I go, "That's fine too."
Yeah,
it's one of those things. But like I said, my best friends call me Pizzuti just because it's so rare. Like to say Nick out in public, 5 people turn their head. You say Pizzuti. Yeah.
Do you like being referred to with your last name?
It doesn't bother me. The only confusion it causes is when my family's around. So
yeah. There's a lot of Pizzutis.
Yeah.
I'm Ted the Third. And I have a Ted the Fourth as my son. So we get together, the family, there's a lot of Teds. It's like very confusing. Yeah, I don't like to be called Moss. Unless you're a good friend of mine, I find it kind of adversarial. Yeah, here comes Moss. It's kind of challenging to refer to me just as my last name, as far as I'm concerned. But if you're my buddy and you call me Moss, I think there's a difference. You allow people that are close to you to say things that are familiar. But if somebody doesn't know you, starts talking to you like it's too familiar, it's kind of adversarial.
No, I totally get it.
Do you think that? No, so? Am I crazy?
Absolutely. It's like, whoa, other people can do that, but you can't.
Yeah, you call me motherfucker. Hello, motherfucker.
Dude, women, I think, and it's so funny. Like a lot of the women that I date, like, are very high strung in general. So
I wonder why.
Yeah, but they're always hell bent on that, referring to women as bitches. That's insulting, and it is.
Do you do a lot of that, Nick?
No, I don't do a lot of that. But the second they see their homegirl out in public, they're like, "What's up, bitches?" Oh my god! And it's like you said, why is that okay?
Dude, what class of women are you dating?
They like to do shots.
Yeah, and call their friends bitches. All right. Alrighty, that makes it a day. First of all, I want to thank Nick Pizzuti for making it such a great show. Obviously, we cut that conversation off right in the middle. That means we'll be back with Nick Part 2 in our next episode. Also, don't forget my contest. Send me an email at tedtalkstoomuch@yahoo.com. tedtalkstoomuch with a number 2 at yahoo.com, and win yourself a free Ted Talks Too Much mug. Continental United States only, please. And as usual, thanks for listening. Hope you had a good time. Till we talk again, just try to be happy. And as always, I'm Ted Moss, and those are my thoughts. We're out.